The couple found the Iceman mummy in the Alps and the unexplained mysteries only from moss trees. Scientists have drawn the final journey full of adventure of the famous Iceman mummy on Alps 5,300 years ago. North Sea Iceman, an injured man, possibly once hunted, spent his last days traveling the Alps until he was shot in the back. About 5,300 years later, archaeologists are still trying to unravel the mystery of his death. Now, scientists have analyzed the remains of the moss on the site of the murder of the Iceman and discovered many details about this last climbing. The Otzi was found in 1991 when a couple walking in the Alps discovered a natural mummy near the border between Italy and Austria. Later, scientists counted over 60 tattoos on Otzi's skin and found him wearing a leather jacket made from sheep and goat skin. Recently, they also found his lost stomach. From there, they learned that Otzi was murdered only an hour after eating. The meal included venison, dried goats and einkorn wheat. They point out that a man in his 40s may have had abdominal pain when he died and his right hand was seriously injured, and a fracture between his thumb and forefinger. So far, scientists have recorded at least 75 types of bryophytes, a plant family of moss and livergrass in and around Otzi's mummy. Now, the above trees are revealing the last moment of the Iceman in more detail. They also reaffirmed the notion that his last days were very lively and intense. In an analysis published in PLOS One, the researchers said about 70% of the bryophytes found in mummies were not native plants. Many of these originate from lower elevations, south of the Alps. By determining why these plant remains appeared around the Otzi corpse on the Tizen Pass at an altitude of more than 3,200 meters, scientists have reconstructed part of the story of his last journey. It was a chaotic climb back and forth at thousands of meters for 2 days. The mystery of the mosses inside the mummy. James Dixon, a retired archaeology professor at Glasgow University, UK, and the new research leader have been learning about Otzi since 1994, when he received organic samples excavated from the site. Found the mummy. The scientist was immediately attracted to the flat Necora moss. This is a moss used to seal boats and grafted houses. Flat Necora moss is found in relatively large quantities at that site. Stuck in Otzi's clothes, mosses can be a part of Otzi, although it is unknown what its purpose is. Is it used to insulate, or used as toilet paper? But no matter what, plants that only live at lower elevations appear here to help researchers map the final journey of Otzi. It's an unusual situation to see this person killed in the Alps, said anthropologist Albert Zink, head of Dung Sea research at the Uric Research Mummy Research Institute in Bolzano, Italy. No one can explain why he's there. Otzi's digestive tract contains not only food but also pollen from the environment where he ate his last meal. This provides a vague map of his final journey in a previous study by archaeologist Klaus Oeggl from Innsbruck University in Australia. Samples from the rectum of Otzi and lower part of the colon show the longest digested portion of food in the digestive tract with traces of pine nuts and pollen. It shows that Otzi was in a forest over 2,400 meters altitude about 33 hours before his death. But between the icy colon contains houblon pythons, pollen and other plants that only grow in forests of lower elevation. Thus, Otzi must be at an altitude of more than 1,200 meters or perhaps at the bottom of a valley between 9 to 12 h before death. According to the pollen evidence, Otzi then climbs up again, eating his last meal in a coniferous forest before climbing up Tizen Pass where he dies. However, it is not entirely clear whether Otzi's last downhill was south, modern Italy, or north, modern Austria. Only a few roads can reach the final site of death. Trace the mosses in the new study. James Dixon's international team of scientists has drawn from extensive plant surveys in the area and mapping the distribution of all the mosses and liverweeds identified in the gastrointestinal tract of Otzi and in the sedimentary layer around the body. The distribution of these plants in the Alps from 5,000 years ago is quite similar to today.